My name's Christy. Thanks for coming in. I'm a Couture independent designer. So I've been doing a few videos lately. I've done a lot of pictures in the past, and something I haven't shown you guys is our Chalkology Ink in action. So we have two different types of, let me find the exact one. We have two different types of product. This is the the Chalkology paste in bright white. So this finishes and dries, and you can remove it with water, but you can also like touch it, rub it, and it'll stay put. But we also have this product called Chalkology Ink. Now it's permanent, and you can use it on fabric, metal, ceramics, like plates, mugs, stuff like that, towels, dish towels. So I've done work with the gold ink before on some t-shirts. There's a t-shirt back here, and I'm not really sure that this is in the view. Maybe it is now. So I've used the gold ink, and it worked amazingly. I'm gonna move that back. It worked amazingly. You can fully wash and dry your clothes. I'm not taking any special precautions with my clothes when I'm washing them. I throw them in the washer, I throw them in the dryer, and then I fold them or hang them. That's it. So I just wanted to give you guys a view of how easy this is. So with our Chalkology Ink, you do have to take a different approach. Specifically for, I'm going to do an old shirt that I've got, and I'm going to put one of our transfers on it. You can use all of the same transfers for both the ink and the chalk. So I've used this one several times. You've probably seen a few dozen pictures of this. All you need is love. And I love this saying because you can hear the song in your head when you read this. So I'm going to try that one today on this cotton t-shirt. And what I was trying to do is get a second camera going, but it just wasn't working. So, actually, maybe I should just give you a couple quick steps here. When you're using the Chalkology ink, you do have to have a surface for heat. You can also use parchment paper, which I will be using when you're doing your heat set. Now, I happen to own a t-shirt press, but that's in the basement, and I do not have that in here. So that works a lot faster, a t-shirt press, but you don't need a t-shirt press. You can use an iron, a simple iron. You set it to the temperature of the type of fabric that you have. They have, I think it's, I won't say the brand because I'm not sure I'm able to say that in conjunction, but there is a little t-shirt press you can buy at one of the big box craft stores, and that works awesome. So now there's other heat setting methods for if you say you're doing mugs or you're doing metal or something like that. But for fabric, you use either an iron or a t-shirt press. Like pretty much everybody has an iron, I would believe, in their house. Or if you don't have an iron, you can pick one up usually at like one of the thrift stores in your area, and they usually have those super cheap. So I'm taking my transfer off of its backing. You can see I've used it several times. It's quite stained, but that does not affect the silk screen transfer at all. It's just a stain because we've got super pigmented materials to work with, products to work with. So I'm sticking that down, and it's not super sticky on this side, but that's all right anyway. What I've noticed with this product is that, or with these transfers, is that when the stickiness wears out, as long as you can keep it flat, it's working perfectly fine as well. So that kind of gives you an idea. So I'm going to grab out my squeegee. The same squeegee that I used for the chalk paste is the same squeegee I'm going to use for this one here. The same transfer I used with my chalk paste is the same transfer I'm using with my ink and my chalk. And they're all washable, they're all reusable. So with this shirt, I put it on this backing here in between the fabric so it doesn't bleed through to the, so it doesn't bleed through to the back, and I've got like all you can need is love backwards on my back coming through. We don't want that, obviously. So I'm putting something in between. This is not a Couture product, but it works and I used it. We do have products you can purchase from the website that are designed for the ink. Some of them have a sticky surface so that you can keep your t-shirt in line so it's not moving around. I didn't have any issue using this. So this is for like quilting, and you can buy that anywhere. So anyway, let me get started. So you can see when I open it, I was really hoping to have a camera right here so you really could see it. I'm gonna try and get up close here. It's a little bit looser than the chalk. It doesn't need to be stirred. It doesn't dry because it's, I'm not sure what it is exactly, but it works amazing. So I have not used the white Chalkology ink yet. So let's give her a try. So it's the same way, you load it up and you put it down. Now, the chalk ink does soak into the fabric because it's fabric. So you might find that you use a little bit more. And you want to get that even placement. But the cool thing about it is that it doesn't dry immediately like the paste does. So you have time to play with it and move it around. You don't have to worry about hurrying up to pull your transfer off. And as I'm telling you, it's permanent. I've got it all over my hand here. I've got my water bath under here. I'm just going to try and get that off my hand so I don't have white ink fingers for the next little while. The white actually seems to come off really quickly when it's not dry, which is nice because it's permanent, so I really don't want white fingertips and white under my nails. And I can stop for a bit because this doesn't dry right away, so it won't pull up with the transfer like your chalk will if you don't go quickly through your transfer. So like, it's covered right now, but I'm seeing that it looks like it's not an even placement, so I'm going to go back and I'm just going to keep on putting it back on. Now, with a silk screen, you want to make sure that there's, whether it's chalk or a paste, you want to make sure that there's no bubbles underneath, because the screen, you don't want it to bleed through the screen. I really like working with the ink. It seems like it's got a really smooth consistency. And this also can be offloaded back into your bottle, any of your excess. I haven't tried to mix the colors yet of the ink, simply because I only have three. I've got a black, a white, and a gold, and that's all I've purchased so far. But I've been told that they mix up really, really well and nicely together. So I'm going to put this into the bath of water that I have here beside me. I'm going to close up my ink. I don't want that to dry out. Make sure it's nice and tight. And I'm going to pull off my transfer now. It's like the most exciting part. Oh, it's beautiful. So I'm putting this into my bath of water, which I have under my desk here. And because this is permanent, I want to get it off of here right away because I don't want that to I don't want it to be stuck to my screen. Now just putting it in the water, I've kept it from drying anyhow. And it does take a bit for it to dry permanently, but I love this transfer that all you need is love. I plan to use it many more times. So I just want to make sure that that's ready to go for me next time. Should I grab my... I always have towels just kicking around now. Kind of worth maybe saying when it's wet, you can kind of crumple it up and it doesn't stick to itself. All right, and we're starting to get that stickiness back. So I'm gonna, excuse me while I just jump off camera for a second here. Put that there so I can make sure that, I'm so happy with the way that this is turning out. Now I don't want to move it around too much because it is still wet. Because it's the ink, it doesn't dry right away. Like, look how nice that is. I'm actually gonna get up and come over to you guys so you can see how nice that is. This back down. And I'm trying not to get the, there we go. I don't want the t-shirt to start folding and touching itself while it's still dry. Okay, so now like I said, you do have to heat press it in order for it to be permanent. The first thing I'm gonna do though is take the hairdryer, and again, it's just a plain hair dryer. There's nothing special about this, just a hair dryer. Get my chalk out of the way because I do not want that drying, and I'm gonna put this on and dry it until it's almost dry to the touch. It'll be a little bit sticky still. So it's a little bit tacky still, and now I'm actually going to plug in my iron. I didn't have it plugged in before because it heats up super fast. And obviously, you can use an ironing board. I have an ironing board, but it just is not fitting into this little space that I've created for myself. It's a lot simpler to do this stuff when you're not trying to fit yourself into a 4-foot box for the camera. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm grabbing my parchment paper that I have here. I think I've got a pretty decent size. So I'm putting it in between, and I'm pulling this out. I don't need to wreck my board. Pull your sleeves out. And you want this to be flat. And then I'm taking another piece of parchment and putting it over top the design. Now it's set to cotton setting. Doesn't even feel warm yet. Alright, so now I'm going to iron for about 4 minutes. Now if you've got a t-shirt press, which I do, I just didn't, like it's in my basement, I'm not going to pull it up for this, it's really heavy. It's an industrial t-shirt press. With a t-shirt press, you would set it to whatever setting you need for your fabric. This would be about 305 for a cotton shirt. And it's like 30 seconds, not 4 minutes. Now I'm moving this over before the 4 minutes just because I want the entire surface to get a good punch of heat. Now the parchment paper is doing a couple things right now. The parchment paper is being a barrier between my iron and my ink so that I don't pull the ink up with the iron and have a big all you need is love backwards on my iron that I have to remove. And it is also in between, keeping it from making this ink soak through to the back of my shirt. So once I'm finished doing the 4 minutes on the front, I'm going to turn it inside out, and I'm going to do the same process inside out from the inside of it. And that'll seal it in, and it will be good to wash and dry. Now usually I give it a good 24 hours before I throw it through the washing machine, but that's all you have to do. Like, I mean, ironing is definitely not my favorite task, but when it's for something fun, I don't mind it at all. So the towel that I've put underneath is really just absorbing the heat like the ironing board would. And I would use the ironing board. It's just, there's really just not enough room on the camera to pull all that back here. or in the room. I don't know where I would do it. So I tried to make up a little studio so I can pull all my stuff out of my dining room, because my dining room has become my Chalkology workshop, and I really don't want it that way. I really wanted to bring everything into one room, keep it all together. So I'm working on that right now. Oh, whew. Got the steam coming off of it. Okay. So now I'm going to stay. So at this point, it's pretty dry, right? But I definitely just want to... Oh, you can't even see on that side that there's anything. So some shirts will... some shirts will bleed through right away. This one did not, so that's great. Like you'd see through, not on the back, but on the other side of the fabric on the front. You would see the ink bleeding through. You'd see backwards, all you need is gloves, but I guess that did not happen. So I've got the parchment paper in between the inside of the shirt, between the back and the front, and the parchment paper on top. And I know that the design's here. I know about how big it is, even though I can't see. So I'm going to do the same thing again, the 4 minutes. And again, you want to set your iron to whatever heat setting it says to do for the type of fabric that you're using. So like you can do oven mitts and dish towels and pillowcases. That's another one I really want to get started on, is pillowcases. So yeah, parchment paper, and parchment paper is cheap. If you don't have it, just buy it. It's not that expensive. Like you're looking at $4 for a big roll, and if you're using this much each time, like you can reuse this parchment paper. It's still very usable. I actually have the parchment paper that I used on my t-shirts in the winter downstairs by my t-shirt press to use next time as well. But I guess for videos, the new parchment paper coming off the container looks a lot nicer. So, unplug this. Unplugged. And like I said, this is an old shirt. Like there's like a bleach stain there because I'm famous for throwing bleach all over my clothes. And I'm gonna just grab the camera real quick and give you a close-up. This is permanent now. So I'm gonna give it 24 hours to fully cure. It's been heat set, it's good to go. And now it's washer and dryer ready, safe, and it will be there forever. That is the shirt that I did in December with the cool Christmas tree. One of them. There's 5 of the Christmas trees. I did that one with gold. It turned out beautifully. I've washed and dried that several times, and it's still gorgeous. And now I've got this one. and I will keep going. Thank you so much for watching. Check out my page. And have a good day.